was starting the martial arts, at the time, this sounds terrible, at the time I was like not a very healthy eater. I'd eat lots of meat, I like, you know, hot wings and beer, and I was smoking. I was smoking like 2 packs a day of cigarettes, and I was overweight. I wore like knee braces all the time. Like I used to do dog agility training, and even just to run the dogs, I'd have to wear knee braces because I had bad knees and all those kind of things. So after I started the martial arts, I started getting healthier, I started working out, I quit smoking, I became a vegetarian, I lost a lot of weight, just started getting really physically active, and then that just sort of snowballed. And obviously became my whole career. I basically started it. One of the reasons why I started it and I wanted to sort of make our own style and our own program was that I think there's a few different types of schools, and they offer different things for different reasons. But I don't necessarily think those are great for kids. But they all have good and bad aspects to them. Like I consider there's like traditional martial arts gyms that have great discipline, great tradition, things like that. But a lot of times they're a little slow, a little too boring, a little too regimented for younger kids, but they're good with the traditions and stuff. Then there's like the McDojos that have a lot of fun and excitement, but they just give out belts and they don't have much discipline, and there's not much of standard. They're just handing out belts and ranks because it's for attendance and not for skill or discipline and things like that. But those are usually fun, and those are usually actually run like a good business. They have good programs set up, they've got a clean gym, they've got good advertising, and they're run like a good professional business that just don't have very good discipline and stuff. And then there's the sort of what people consider like MMA kind of style gyms that are sort of like hole in the wall, down and dirty, duct tape on the bags, hardcore training kind of stuff, which is great because they usually teach good, practical, hands-on, effective martial arts, but it's usually too hardcore for the kids. So it's like I basically wanted to take the good parts from all of those things and put them together. So we have a little bit of the tradition and the katas and the bowing and the answering and some of the programs like the Dragons programs, the kids wear uniforms and stuff like that. So we still have a little bit of that, but we don't have the really rigid, regimented kind of sitting still and strict discipline. And then the McDojo, we still have a lot of fun, and we try to run things as a professional business. We have good products, we have clean mats, we have a bunch of systems and handouts and schedules and online presence, and it's nice and professional. But everybody's got to earn their belt rank, even from the very lowest 4-year-old belt rank. I don't believe in giving kids ranks for attendance or just because they show up. Some of them, there's some kids that are autistic or have other learning disabilities, and so they might progress at a different rate, but everybody still has to earn their ranks. And then the down and dirty kind of gym, we want to keep it light, nice and clean and friendly, but we want to teach effective martial arts, because that's another thing too, is I don't think the kids should get a black belt and not be able to defend themselves, and I don't want them to have a false sense of, I got a black belt, but then they're just going to get beat up because they're just practicing in the air and stuff like that. So I want the effective martial arts, I want the clean professional dojo, and then I want some of the tradition and respect in all the programs, and that includes the Muay Thai and the Jiu Jitsu programs. We still bow, and I still make the kids answer and have respect and things like that, even though it's a lot more hands-on martial art. I find that and I've most martial art instructors that I've talked to and stuff, I find that most of the kids that take martial arts don't get in fights. Just because, one, they have the confidence that they're not getting bullied as much, and they know they can protect themselves a little bit, so they're not going out of their way to pick fights. I also, I have a rule that if you're street fighting outside of the dojo, I won't train you in the dojo. So I have had 1 or 2 kids get in fights at school. One when she first started class, so we talked about it and I explained to her that, she can't be getting in fights because I won't train her if she's going to use it for, to hurt people. And then I had sort of the opposite with another kid, which was when we started doing more, a little more serious self-defense stuff, was one of my students got bullied and was pinned and was getting choked, and his mom was like, well, what do you do? And he was like, I can't use my martial arts to hurt anybody. And I was like, well, if you're getting choked, you can, So we started doing, but when I do the bully stuff, I don't want to scare the kids too much. So I've always tried to temper it and make sure that I wanted them to know that things can be scary, but I don't want to freak them out. So we started doing a little more aggressive self-defense stuff and explaining a little more clearly to the kids like when they can and can't use their martial arts. And like I always tell them, like the little guys, I tell them I use a superhero, supervillain analogy. It'd be like, you have special powers. I'm teaching you how to choke people, how to break their arms, how to throw them on the ground and really hurt people. So you have a choice. If you're going to use your powers to protect people and protect yourself, you're going to be a superhero. If you use your powers to hurt people and bully people, you're going to be a supervillain. I think when we first started, I actually did like some research and I had like some slides that go on up there, and like one of them is like martial arts is statistically safer than soccer. There's less injuries in martial arts than there is in soccer. I think part of the reason is we should realize that we're trying to hurt each other, so there's extra safety in place, whereas a lot of other sports, they're not really trying to hurt each other, so they're not wearing safety gear, and they're, running around, and there's more injuries and bloody noses in a basketball game than there usually is in here, because they're wearing all their safety gear, and they know and expect that they've got to have good defense, to protect themselves, because the other person is trying to hurt them. So we've had some bloody noses, and that's it. Like, I can't think of any. Nobody's like split anything open. Nobody's broken any arms. Nobody's broken any fingers. And we go even on the Jiu Jitsu and Muay Thai classes and stuff like that. We go through and make sure to explain to them how to tap out. They have to respect that. And if anybody's going too hard, we make them sit out. And so, we take the safety. Our dojo kun is honesty, safety, respect. So we take the safety really seriously. But for parents that are like, I'm afraid they're going to get hurt or whatever, it's actually a lot safer than a lot of other sports.